Hello and welcome back to Real Life Recaps. Today's story was posted by Throwry Love Me Wife, 28 male, wife, 21 female, has gained a significant amount of weight during her pregnancy. Two of our mutual friends, 34 male, 26 male, have been making her feel bad about her weight gain. They tell me she'll continue to blow up and that I should leave her. How do I navigate this trash situation? My wife has blessed us with a beautiful son back in April and has put on quite a bit of weight during the pregnancy. This was a good thing because she started the pregnancy at just 80 pounds and now weighs around 120. For reference, she's 5'2". I think she looks absolutely beautiful, and I am incredibly proud of her for finding strength in the pregnancy to battle her nearly lifelong eating disorder. She was beautiful at 80 pounds and is beautiful now and would be beautiful at 300 pounds. It's just that she was unhealthy before and I was scared for her health. She had been hospitalized 3 times due to anorexia and even suffered a heart attack because of it. She says now that our son saved her life, as it made her realize how much good her body can give her when she treats it more kindly. We went out for dinner with a large group of our mutual friends last night, and while most of them seemed relieved about her weight gain, 2 of our friends were giving her side glances, and one made a comment about how her stomach rolls over her pants. My wife didn't seem to catch on, thank goodness, but I did. Well, this morning we went to the gym, and they talked to me about my wife. They congratulated me on our baby and followed it up with, "Shame about your wife, though." I wanted to punch them in the face for that comment on its own, but that would just get me arrested. I asked him what the F he meant by that, and he said, "You know how it is, they settle down and then settle in a couch." I was in so much shock, I didn't even say anything in response to that horse crap. My other friend then goes, "That happened with my first wife. She was 100 when we met, 20 when we got married, and 190 after we had our daughter. I gave her 6 months to work back down to 100, but she couldn't do it, so I left her." I felt like I was in the comments section of a Reddit post, to be honest, but sadly these were actual words spoken by actual people who I considered my friends. They both kept running their mouths about how it's a shame she has some pudge on her. She doesn't. And how I can't toss her around as easily anymore. I can, but I don't toss my postpartum wife around the effing bedroom. I'm at a loss for words. I won't lie. I yelled at them real hard, to the point that I got threatened to get kicked out of the gym. At that point, I just left. They're now running to our mutual friends, saying I have anger issues and I can't handle criticism. I'm scared their comments are going to come back to my wife and destroy everything she's worked so hard on building. I love my wife dearly, and I feel guilty for not defending her honor even harder. But if I had stayed in that gym, I would have left in handcuffs, and that's not fair to her or my son. It breaks my heart to think of those ridiculous accusations they gave. It even breaks my heart to know my supposed friend divorced his wife for gaining weight. He had told me previously that he had divorced her due to her being crazy, but now I'm starting to think that wasn't the case at all. Our mutual friends are urging me to keep quiet and just ignore them, but I feel this was extremely disrespectful, and they shouldn't be allowed to get away with horse crap like that. How do I navigate this situation? And what can I do to preserve my wife's dignity and feelings? Wildly Uninteresting says, "These aren't friends. They are very unkind and selfish. Their priorities are not in alignment with yours. It's time to let them go. Tell your wife that this relationship with them is ending." UltraCal31 says, "To add to this, OP friends strike me as the kind to be up in arms if you point out their weight problem or any kind of problems." A Baker's Murder says, "I bet you one, if not both, are starting to go bald." We all know, your wife is not pudgy, fat, couch sitter, etc. Since she has a distorted eating pattern, I would bring up therapy. This will get back to her. You sound very supportive. Dump those douches and enjoy your life. Sucks when people show us who they truly are. From OP. Both are bald, that's correct. I don't comment on others' bodies, but they did once lament the fact that I still have a full head of hair. I offered them a few solutions that helped my hairline recover when it was in the beginning stages of receding, and they became defensive. They are not mature, you are right. Ruby June Rocket says, they don't seem capable of seeing women as people, so it's not surprising to me that they're saying this crap, while they might not understand why, but they're jealous. They're jealous you love your wife, especially the one who ditched his because she didn't drop 100 pounds. He is seething. His life is probably objectively worse now, just going by every other divorce with a man like that. He is realizing what he has lost. But you know what won't be so bad? If he can take you down with him, if you get rid of your wife, you guys can go live the single life again, and it'll make him feel better about his crap choices and his crap personality. These men are effing with your marriage as a way to rationalize their own behavior, and it is pathetic. They see women as disposable, and the fact that you don't, it's a judgment on them, so they're acting like this. You ever see people with kids act like someone without a child is missing out and doesn't understand anything, like they've unlocked the secret of the universe because they had a kid. But really what they are is annoyed that someone else made a choice that they didn't. Someone else doesn't want children, so their very existence feels like an attack to people who have had children and maybe regret it a little. From OP, I hadn't seen it that way before, but you got a point. I remember hearing about how his divorce went down from some other friends, and he had both started working out and drinking more. So now he has a beer belly and real muscly arms. He seems to have picked up a slew of bad habits since then, only offsetting with working out. There's a lot of miserable folks in the world. My wife and I got married very quickly, no doubt about that. It just felt right. Only time will tell if it was a good decision, but so far our marriage has been beautiful. She's the girl of my dreams, and I can't imagine how I survived before her. People have tried messing with our relationship before, but that was early on. For clarity, since I know this subreddit doesn't like big age gaps. No, it wasn't about that. There was another woman interested in me who tried to paint her as some crazy girl when she wasn't. This woman is known for being a pot stirrer. Story 2, posted by JBay0AIM 29F, scared of my BFs 31M. Expectations of marriage, can we move on? Me, 29F, and my BF 31M have been together for about a year and a couple months. We have a great relationship. He's a great BF, and he says he knows he wants to marry me. So we started having conversations about marriage, the importance of it to each other, expectations, etc. My parents were married before I was born, about 33 years now. I grew up seeing a healthy marriage. My BF never really knew anyone that was married, except his mum, but she married when he was a teenager, and he has friends who are married, but none have good marriages, he says. My BF's expectations scare me. He says when we get married, he expects me to cook for him every single day, have the house clean all the time, and to have sex whenever he wants it. If he's hungry at 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. whenever, and wants a sandwich or something to eat as his wife, I would get up and get it for him. I asked him, so what about my bad days? What if some days the house isn't clean, or I don't want to have sex? He says, well, what's the point of marriage then? I taught him how to cook, so he cooks now, and he helps out with the cleaning. He helps out a lot around the house, but for marriage he feels because we would be married. I'm his wife now, so he shouldn't have to do that anymore. He also said, bad days are made up. He said he will never have a bad day. If he does, I will never know. and will always come home and be loving and happy towards me. No matter what I need, he will do it no matter what. He will never say no to me, so he expects me to never say no. And I don't think that's realistic and not a good mindset. When I get married, I would cater to my husband and be the best wife I can be. But I'm afraid, with him, if I'm not perfect, or there's some days I don't want to cook, the house isn't clean, or I don't want to have sex. Now he feels I'm not worth it, or he's unhappy and feels marriage. Me was pointless. He never said he would feel that way, but if those are his expectations, I feel he will. I asked him why he wants to get married to me. He says everyone he knows that is married are unhappy, so he wants to do it right, as me. But if him and his friends think their wife have to have sex whenever they want, no matter what, cook every day no matter what, and do all the cleaning every single day. I know why their marriages aren't happy. That's not what marriage is about for me at all. I grew up having some of my best memories. Was my dad coming home from work and seeing my mom didn't cook, or seeing she had a bad day, and telling me, "Hey, your mom had a rough day, come to the kitchen and help me cook dinner." Then he would play music, and we would sing and cook together. Or some days he will order takeout. But I never seen my dad complain or even judge my mum. When my mum was down, that's when I seen him step up the most. My dad will have the kitchen and whole house clean by the end of the night, instead of him coming home mad she didn't cook, or belittling her and making her feel like she's not worthy of being his wife because she didn't cook or the house wasn't clean. He was her partner and stepped in and made her still feel even more loved on days like that. That's marriage, a partnership. Maybe they made me have unrealistic expectations of marriage. Any advice on how to move forward, or advice or other perspectives of marriage? Ranty McThrowaway says, your boyfriend doesn't want a wife, he wants a bangmaid. I hate that word, but it does apply here. The scariest part is him saying he expects sex whenever he wants it. You were not put on this earth to please some guy whenever he sees fit, even if you don't want it. There are plenty of men out there who look at marriage like an equal partnership, a commitment of your love, not just so they can have a woman around who they feel doesn't owe them consent because they own their wife. Your dad is the perfect example of teaching your child what love should look like. It's not unrealistic. You saw it happen in front of your eyes. My fiancé is that kind of man too. You will have a much better and happier life if you leave your boyfriend and find someone who treats you with the human decency you deserve. Fizwit says he just gave you a gift, the chance to walk away from a horrible marriage before it starts. I am sorry. This will hurt. Snon Unos says, this is honestly such a beautiful gift. My ex gave this to me too, and I'll be forever grateful that he said it to me before we got married, and now I'm free with a man who respects me. Live Relaxes says, I'm glad you got out in time and found someone who cares. They say educate girls on the dangers, but it's 100x more important that we raise boys better. Do you think this poster should get out of her relationship too? What kind of advice would you give her? I personally think she should run fast and far, far away from her boyfriend.